7:14 on a beautiful Wednesday morning. We want to welcome to microphone number 2 our Chief of Police, Car Manuel. Welcome, sir. Good to see you.
Thank you, Dale. I'm glad to be here.
Been a while?
It has.
Looks like you're doing well.
I think so.
How about this weather?
Oh, I love it. This time of year is great.
Have you heard of any burn bans being issued by any of the authorities, whether it's Mickey or the mayor? Have you heard of any?
No, I haven't heard of any. I know it's getting dry, and it's been a while since we had a good rain.
Yeah. So how's things at Mount Police Department?
Busy, going well. At least we can say most of what we're dealing with is not violent crimes against people. I mean, we do have those issues and some assaults, batteries, and
really,
and domestics. But usually, for us, it's not the deaths and very serious violence. But those cases do occasionally happen.
Well, you've got members of the Mountain Home Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association here.
Yes, we do. Very great group that supports the Mountain Home Police Department in many ways, and we're glad to have them a part of our operation and to assist us.
You want to introduce?
Well, our president, Bob, and I guess the person who is in charge of this year's rummage sale, Betty.
Kathy Swim.
Kathy, I'm sorry. Wrong person.
You're in charge of the rummage sale?
Well, a couple of years ago, we were trying to think of a way to raise money for our group and to help the police, and my husband and I suggested, why don't we have a rummage sale? And now they want the rummage sales, and we do very well.
Wow. And Bob, you're the president of the association?
Yes, reached us 1 month ago.
So what's your responsibilities?
Basically, the way I see it, just to add a little energy to the group and keep them going, come up with ideas. And right now what we're trying to do, the rummage sale, I understand, goes to help Bomber, right?
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But what we're doing now, the chief has shared with us that the police officers can use tasers and body-worn cameras. And I think today, in today's world, we need to support our police department, give them everything they need for
Did
their
you
own
notice the
protection.
blue ribbon on the front handle out there?
Blue ribbon?
It may still be out there. I put a blue ribbon on the front door of the radio station, and then you'll notice a blue ribbon tied around my radio antenna out here. And that blue ribbon's got about 3,000 or 4,000 miles of flapping in the wind out there. It's been on there a while. Plus the bumper sticker that says we support our police.
Wonderful.
Kurt, what needs does the department have right now?
The majority of our needs, especially the more expensive things and personnel costs and some of the higher cost equipment is furnished, through a budget. There are, in many cases, and especially in a case like this, where there's a piece of equipment that's not overly expensive that we need, and it's help, through help like people like this and organizations who help us get those things. And in this particular case, we would like to be able to do a better job and document better for court purposes and also complaints against employees and searching for the truth as to what happened. In that case, it would be body-worn cameras. Also, tasers. Now, we currently have a limited number of tasers, but we would like to expand that to where an officer would be assigned a taser. Right now, it's sort of like a committee. We have a handful of tasers, and each time the officer comes in to work, then that's how they're assigned out, and then they have to turn them back in.
For folks that don't know, tell us what a taser is.
Well, it's an electronic device that the compliancy control that's implemented there is to disrupt basically the communications between the brain and the rest of the body. So if we have somebody who we have to arrest who resists, it's a great tool for us because it keeps us from having in every case, although we still do, a hands-on with that individual who's been resistive to the arrest, and thereby controlling that individual through this method. You reduce injury to him, and you also reduce injuries to officers as well.
Mm-hmm. So if somebody got tased, what are they getting? Is that the electric shock type of thing?
You're getting a lot of votes. It's several thousand votes, but it's very, very almost nil amperage.
Yeah, kind of like a spark plug.
Of course, yeah. The amperage is what's going to hurt you. It's not necessarily the volts. So it's high voltage.
Huh. Kind of like touching the electric fence.
Yes, and I can say this before we implement those type of devices and the officers carry them on duty, they must go through the training, which does require that they be tased as well.
Huh.
Just like pepper spray, we do require officers to be pepper sprayed as well, so they get an idea of what that response to resistance is like.
And what's pepper spray do? That burns your eyes?
Burns your eyeballs. Yes, your eyes and any place it enters the body, it's going to burn.
Well, I actually, I had carburetor cleaner splash in one eye one time, and I don't know that anything could burn as bad as that.
Pepper spray, it's got a percentage of cayenne pepper in it.
Yeah.
You can get different levels, 10 to 15%, but it is effective.
I bet it is.
The problem with that, though, you can get some overspray somewhat with foam, more so with the spray type. It is effective, but we find that the taser is more effective and reduces the injuries.
That's good. So, do you have bulletproof vest?
Yes, we do.
Those are expensive.
Yes, they are.
Is this something that Bob and some of the others work to help raise money for? Or is that a budgeted item?
Well, they would. Fortunately for us, each year with our association with the federal government and the Bulletproof Vest Partnership Program, and also with the Arkansas Association of Chiefs of Police, we make application for reimbursement to both areas. And for the most part, we spend the money up front, but we have nearly 100% reimbursement for that body armor. And the particular body armor that we use cost about $700 a piece.
How many officers do you have on patrol now?
We have 18 folks in patrol. That's including the patrol commander, which is more administrative. But it is mandatory body armor wear. That is a part of not only our policy, but it is required to get this grant reimbursement.
Right.
They do require the body armor wear policy.
When your patrolmen are out on patrol, how many miles of area do you have? Have you ever just sat down, okay, we can go here, 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 and they said, well, you're out of your jurisdiction, you're in your jurisdiction. Where do we see Mountain Home Police on patrol?
Well, you're going to see them on patrol inside the city limits. That's our area of responsibility by law, but also that's what's expected by the citizens of Mountain Home. We do have some authority in some cases to go outside the city limits to investigate cases that occur within the city, to serve a warrant of arrest that was issued in the city, some drug operations in cooperation with other agencies. We can even go across the state and pick up somebody who we have an arrest warrant for. Sometimes with a joint effort between us and another agency, in this case would be the Baxter County Sheriff's Department. If they needed our assistance, we would be called and we would go and assist them, even if that was outside the city. So those are the exceptions, but not the norm. The norm is we will operate inside the city limits of Mountain Home. And that area is approximately, the last time I checked, was around 12 to 13 square miles.
It's a lot of area. So it's almost
It is.
About 1.4 miles per officer, really.
Yes, and of course on patrol, now they're not all going to be out there at one time. The numbers I give you for staffing, that's a 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year scheduling. There will always be an officer on patrol, always.
So, you've got your training, you've got your equipment, so this is where the Citizens Police Academy comes in. Bob, how much money do you need to raise to help Manuel Police Department?
Well, they're in the
You
process.
just set goal for different projects?
Yeah, they're in the process, I understand, of trying to get a grant that will help, and we will help do anything we can to get that. But what I'd like to do, I think right now, in today's world, we need to really support our police department. And I think, and I told the chief this, that to get the tasers and the body-worn cameras or whatever that we need, I think we can get on the telephone and call our local businesses, and the way people in Mountain Home react, they would support the police department. Mm-hmm. If I understand correctly, Chief, the taser is about $850 a piece.
The body-worn cameras, the particular, it's kind of like going out and car shopping. It depends on what you want to buy and what's the best fit for you. About $850 for the body-worn cameras, and then the particular taser would be about $1,300 each.
Wow.
But if you approach businesses and say, hey, would you donate one or the other? If you can't do that, you're willing to donate $500 and get the businesses together and take their picture and let the citizens of Mountain Home and also our police department know that these guys are supporting them. I think it's good, everybody around, all around.
Yeah. With, down to 3 minutes already, what happened in Ferguson and Baltimore and then just the other day in Memphis. Did you ever think that we'd live to see a day where police were so much disrespected?
Never.
Why is this happening?
Well, we don't even respect God.
True. Yeah. Kurt, how do you react to what's going on in other cities? I know that we're a nice, quiet little community in North Arkansas, and do you think it's the attitude of the people?
I will go back to one of my college classes in trying to understand and looking at theories on what causes crime and what to do to combat crime. And the three things that really stood out foremost to me that was very common sense, but also was one of several theories. But if we have a good, strong family unit, number one. Number two, the family is committed to that child's education, rather it be just, up to high school, college, or whatever, but commit to a good education and a strong belief in God. Those three things is almost guaranteed to give you your best opportunity to keep your family out of trouble.
What are they doing with kids today? You can see kids in strollers playing video games that are nothing but
look at television.
Violence. Television, the commercials, the movies, everything is violence. Our kids are raised on violence, and we pay the price eventually.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in the fact that our entertainment, and I better watch my clock here before we go to break here, our entertainment is so violent. I was watching Channel 3 News at noon one day, sitting there eating lunch, and he did a review on the movies. 3 of the 4, I thought, why would I want to go see that? You know what I mean, Carr?
I know. Yes, I know. I understand.
Comedy to me is Barney Fife and Andy Griffith. That's comedy, or that's entertainment, I should say. But some of these movies, and see, when you've got mom and dad working maybe different shifts, different hours, and the kids are there from, say, 4 o'clock till dinner time or something, they can probably get around the parental lock on the remote just like anybody else could and watch what they want. And there's
better at it than their parents are.
Probably, yeah.
It's like cartoons. Cartoons used to be funny, and you remember the cartoons on Saturdays mainly. Well, now some of them are not funny at all.
No.
They're just not good. Some of them.
Anyway, we're visiting with Chief of Police of Mountain Home Police Department, Corey Manuel. We got members of make sure I get it right here, the Mountain Home Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association. Time for the news. We'll be right back. 7:35 on a beautiful Wednesday. Visiting with Police Chief Corey Manuel, and I got to get this right. Let me read it so I don't mess it up. Members of the Mountain Home Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association. Y'all need a longer name. That took up almost one full header of the paper. So we got a rummage sale coming up, and what's the date on that?
25th, 24th.
24th, Saturday the 24th.
Saturday.
See what's on this press release. Let me get my glasses on here. So we can bring any donation to the no clothing, right?
No clothing.
Okay. So what in particular are we looking for here?
Just about anything, but no clothing.
No clothes.
If somebody decides they want to bring things to the police station to donate and don't know what to do about pricing, we'll take care of that.
Okay.
So they don't have to worry about them being priced.
Perhaps somebody went over here to Butler's and bought some new furniture, and they have a couch and a chair or something they don't know what to do with. They can.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
We've had computers and TVs.
Really? Oh, I've got a TV that I never. It's in the barn and it works.
Well,
I don't watch TV.
Bring it over.
I'm not sure we understand what we may get into here.
Clean out your barn. Take it down to the police department.
Well, we don't want to be the city dump.
No.
No. It'd take a lot of effort to clean
We're
up.
going to borrow a line from Salvation Army. Your gently used items.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's the biggest seller when you have one of these?
Just miscellaneous. I mean, we have dishes, we have toys, we have
dishes,
you name it. Yeah.
I was at a flea market in Leapers Fork, Tennessee Saturday. Now, you think, oh, it's a bunch of junk. You talk about antiques, and there was probably, there was probably 200 vendors that stretched over about 30 acres.
Wow.
And I mean, this thing was so big that after it closed at dark, they had the county police was on golf carts all night long going up and down the rows. They had at least two, policing and just patrolling that area. And it's not a high crime area. This is where all your country music people are, well, within, say, 20 miles of that area. A lot of country music people are out there. But, people, I mean, there were cars parked everywhere. So people come out to look for a bargain. So.
Well, they say somebody's trash is another person's treasure.
Oh, yeah.
You never know.
I mean, walking along there and I thought, did I just see what I saw? I looked over there and here's one of these huge interstate signs. Interstate 70. Now, this is just outside of Nashville, so we're 300 miles from Interstate 70, but here's the sign. Then they had, I kid you not, they had the front clip of a 59 Chevy half-ton pickup sitting out there. Bumper, headlights, grill, everything right there.
Did you buy it?
I didn't have room for it. Wouldn't that be a novelty? Close my garage door and shove that up against. People would start wondering. So gently used items, anything but clothing.
Anything but clothing.
And so give us the rundown of what to do. Let's say that we've got, a lazy boy recliner we want to get rid of. What do we do? Step one.
Well, it is a big item, so we have to consider, some of these big items. But if anybody has more smaller stuff would be better. Bring it to the police station. Our sale is actually going to be on Saturday from 7 to 2.
And the location is what?
At the membership room at the police station.
Oh, okay. It's going to be an indoor sale?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Okay,
yes.
I thought it was going to be outdoor.
No, indoor.
Okay.
So we can accommodate a couple big items on the outside as long as the weather's nice.
No. Okay, so your biggest need, say they raise $10,000. How can we help the police department with that kind of money?
Well, it would go into the two programs. I believe it would be up to the the governing board and the body of the Citizen Police Academy. But we've already discussed the need, and I think they're going to do what they can to help us out with the body-worn cameras and the tasers. Tasers would be an update for us. Body-worn cameras would be, with the exception of one that we're using right now as a test, it would be new technology introduced into our department.
Wow. Had a body-worn camera been on the officer at Ferguson, Missouri, would this be a different situation nationwide right now? Because I think, my personal opinion, I think that we had a liberal press grab a hold and made a racial issue out of a policeman doing his job. And when the president allowed Al Sharpton to come and start mouthing off in St. Louis, this sparked an outrage against authority. That's my opinion.
It definitely, in my opinion, added a lot to that. And we got to a situation that may have been able to be prevented. Now, to answer your question, would a body-worn camera have made a difference? Of course, I'm not in a position, not being there, to say with certainty. It very well may have. Now, I also will sort of issue a warning or disclaimer that body-worn cameras are not going to give us everything that we normally would expect, or at least the public would expect that it will give us. We don't have a production team out there that's getting all angles. You just have this one single camera that's going to give the view that camera is pointed at. And sometimes in a scuffle, in the officer dealing with problems and issues, it may not necessarily be pointed in the direction that it needs to be pointed. So there's going to be some things that miss. So I don't think that we need to think that it's going to be a cure-all, because it's not. And also, it could even possibly contribute to the issue, because if you just get one angle, it may record, for instance, the action that the officer took, but it may not record the action that was committed by the suspect that caused the officer to take the action. And I've actually seen where you've had recordings from police units from two different angles, and in a class we were presented just the one angle, one camera, and we watched the event on the camera. And it looked like the officer used deadly force inappropriately, and showed him shooting the rounds, actually. And this is real footage. But when you introduce the second camera from another angle that was absent in the first camera, is you had the action where the suspect was turned toward the officer and firing. That wasn't in the first camera. So when you look at both cameras, then you get a more true idea and picture of what happened. One did not. And actually the one was a disservice to the actions that were taken by the law enforcement officer.
So they could get you in more hot water than what you need to be in? Question mark.
Well, it may not always get us to the truth. It's going to get partial truth, but sometimes you've got to have all that documented the best you can. So they can be helpful, but you just have to remember things like that when you take a look at it. This is only that one small segment. It wasn't the whole story.
Another thing that comes to mind, I think it happened in Texas, where the officer was off work buying gasoline and was basically executed by a criminal that just walked up in cold blood. I can't fathom, and I've had several people here, elected officials. Can you explain the criminal mind? What generates hatred towards perhaps a teacher, kids in school, a police officer, Lee Harvey Oswald that shot President Kennedy? What's the mindset? And I know that Lee Harvey Oswald's brother at the time was living in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and he says, I have no doubt that Lee Harvey assassinated President Kennedy. He wanted the attention. Why do you want attention like that? And we're mentioning it, I forget who was here the other day when Mark David Chapman executed John Lennon in New York. He thought he could replace him. That was the mentality. So is mental illness really the factor? Now with the gun control issues coming out after Oregon, they're saying we need to look at mental illness instead of the gun. What's going on here? How do you handle this, Corey?
some of it is going to be mental illness. There's a lot of things that come into play, and there's going to be many things that I don't even know and understand. But in a lot of ways, I think we have a certain segment of society that basically, as I explain it when I'm asked, that they just walk to the beat of a different drum. I mean, it could be their environment they were raised in. It could be lack of nurturing, the education, the strong family unit. I mean, you can just name it and just keep going on. It may very well be inherited, biological. What was the assassin, the attempted assassins on Ronald Reagan? Hinckley? Yes.
He wanted to gain the admiration of a Hollywood actress by shooting the president. Now, where's this don't make sense.
I can't fathom that. Just like I just can't understand when you have a mass murder, large numbers of people being killed in the same incident, the same crime spree, that you'd have somebody who would think about coming along after that and beat those numbers. They just simply want to beat those numbers,
You are kidding me.
Yes.
My
have.
goodness.
But
let me take a quick break
Okay.
here, Bob, and we'll get you right back on. We got to take a quick break. Be right back. 7:49 coming up on 7:50 on a beautiful Wednesday, October 14th. We're finishing up the program with Chief of Police Car Manuel. And let me take a deep breath here. The Mountain Home Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association. Great folks doing great work, helping support our police department. One thing I told Bob at the break here, Bob Crawford's over here, I strongly support the School Resource Officers Program. Everyone want to give an opinion?
Well, unfortunately, the schools are having to take a parental role in today's world. In the kids, it's important, I think, for the kids to see the police at work, knowing that they're there for me. They're not there against me.
Right. Yeah, and that's a good point. When the SROs are here on the program, I tell them when I was in school, Corey and I went to high school together, it was the pigs, fuzz, cops, any derogatory remark you'd come up with. But now the SROs has developed a friendship. Talk to Eddie or talk to Tom or Bubba. And they're there, yes, to protect, and they're there to make sure, there's no issues. But still, they've bonded with the students to the point where it's a friendship and a trust. Probably more important, a trust. Mm-hmm. And so it's a very important program. Gun-free zones. They say, well, the issue with the schools are gun-free zones, and, Facebook is just loads up with this stuff. Nobody's ever been killed at a gun show.
Well, I don't know the stats on that. I can just accept it as the truth unless I find out otherwise. I don't know that. But, I guess what I could say is they may be helpful, but will they deter all crime? No, it's not going to happen. We have laws in this state that prohibit a multitude of things, but those violations still occur. So it's the same.
It's like people were saying, so let's say that I hung a sign on the door that says this is a gun-free zone. Well, somebody that disagreed with, say, the governor might be sitting there, lieutenant governor, and they're listening and disagree. Are they going to mind the sign that says gun-free zone? No. The people that are abiding by the laws are not the ones that are going to put the gun in their hand and shoot somebody anyway. A crook's going to disobey anything.
Well, exactly. And like I said, I go back to we have laws against murder, but murder still happens. So whatever law or prohibition that you have, there's going to be people that will skirt the border of violation and a lot that actually goes over that line.
Final 3 minutes. We need to get back to the rummage sale and raise some money for the police department. Now, this is coming up on the 24th from 7 to 2, and it's in what room now?
It's in the Mountain Home Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association room.
But you have to have a big door to print that.
at the police station.
That would be the community room of the former library.
Look for the garage door.
Library.
So bring our gently used items, no clothing items, but bring that down there. You need that prior to the event.
Yes.
Of course, it's starting at 7.
Yes.
You need that probably a couple days before.
We will actually be setting up on Friday from 10 to 2.
Okay.
But anything that somebody wants to bring, maybe they have to bring before that, they can bring it, and it'll wait for us to set up.
And we can bring just anything we want other than clothing or...
Yeah, yeah. We don't usually get a lot of big, like you say, furniture, but we've had a couple big items. We've done well.
Good. 2 minutes, Clark. Final thoughts, Bob? What have we overlooked today? What have we not talked about we need to cover?
Well, before we get out of here, there's one thing I want to do. In the beginning of the show, I butchered Kathy's name. I did that publicly, so I want to apologize publicly for doing that. I just had one of those moments when it came around to Kathy. I will blame Kathy also publicly. I went blank, and I was really struggling with with the name, and Betty comes out, but I will publicly apologize because I publicly butchered it.
You notice on
But
this piece of paper, I wrote your name down.
Exactly.
We've only known each other for 47 years.
But I'm going to publicly blame her because she caused me to go blank.
My fault.
You know, I've had people in here on this
I thought you
program that I've
said
known for 40 plus years. I write their name down because you get, all of a sudden you just go blank. You know, Bob, you've been there. One more minute. What else can we cover? We're out there trying to support our police department.
Well, I want to say that this group, when we formed and put together this program a number of years ago, maybe 06, somewhere around there, we've had a lot of people who have come through the Citizens Police Academy. Once you come through the Citizens Police Academy, then you may join the Alumni Association if you so desire, and then further your work in working with the Mountain Home Police Department. Their mission supports our mission, and basically that mission is whatever they can do and whatever we can do to improve the quality of life in this community. And combating, reducing crime, keeping it under control is a big part of that. They save us a lot of money. They've come in and they're doing things that you don't necessarily have to have an officer to do. It doesn't require a certified officer, but because we had them doing certain things in the past, these people help us out and save us money and donate money too. They work at Park Pride. They help us out with the red, white, and blue, the Mountain Home PD 5K run, child safety seat belt clinics, and just a multitude of things that I know I won't be able to mention all of them, but they really support us very, very well. Great group of people. And all of us here at Mountain Talk appreciate our police departments and for what they do to protect us, and we support them. That wraps it up. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow.